New Kendrick Lamar album has been in talk recently, and I'm intrigued. I mean, I don't really know why I'm intrigued. I don't know why I'm getting my hopes up or why I'm excited in the slightest, because this isn't confirmation. It doesn't say a date next to it. It shouldn't tell you when to expect anything. Just a tweet from a Billboard columnist, and he's talking about how he knows someone who knows someone that knows someone who works on the album, and apparently there's going to be more rock influence. One, I would tell you not to get your hopes up, because this could be a lie. Two, if you do get your hopes up and it's true, this still doesn't tell me a date. I will just tell you right now what I want from a Kendrick Lamar release in 2020 and why I think 2017 Damn didn't age as well as I wanted it to. I'm a fan of live instruments. I'm a fan of in-your-face instrumentation. I'm a fan of everything organic. So you'd imagine how hard of a time I've had connecting to music over the past decade that hasn't been organically made. Music that's been imported from one place to another. Just record the live instruments, man. I can feel your soul that way. I've seen many people over the past couple of days go crazy over this whole Kendrick Lamar having an album that's inspired more by rock, and I don't think people remember how negatively hip-hop heads in general reacted to electronic music and more computerized sounds being added to hip-hop music after the boom bap era had its golden days. There were a lot of rap and hip-hop purists that were against the move, tons of rap purists and hip-hop heads that were against the ambiguity that hip-hop music and electronic music now share when it comes to us looking at the role that, house plays when it comes to hip-hop in Chicago, when it comes to the role that trap plays in hip-hop in general. Now it's like the standard, now it's accepted, now it's the new wave. But now that we're settled into a new form of hip-hop music, we're going to have people that are against another transition, which is why I see folks are so against a Kendrick Lamar rock-inspired album, if that is what this is going to be. We're in an age now, though, where many folks that listen to hip-hop also listen to rock, also listen to folk, also listen to country, also listen to metal, so I don't think it'll be that big of a transition. I think people, for the most part, that just like music will be generally accepting of whatever Kendrick Lamar has to give for this new record. And this isn't Kendrick Lamar's first rodeo when it comes to dealing with rock music. I mean, one of my favorite songs off To Pimp a Butterfly, Blacker the Berry, has a really nice time signature, really nice electric guitar in the background. It only adds further fury and intensity to his already angry delivery. You can say that's very rock inspired, if not has a complete rock foundation. And that's one of the things I felt was lost when we listened to 2017 Damn. I really loved Damn when I first heard it, but years and years down the road, it's been a year now and I haven't listened to Damn since 2018. That's not because I don't like the record. I still think that it has some enjoyable tracks. I still think there's a lot to be loved about an album like Damn, but when I go back and look through the catalog, I see how much it takes from the existing landscape, how it's not really that innovative, how it's not really that influential. It still gets a Pulitzer Prize, though, oddly enough. Still, just because I don't think it stood the test of time doesn't mean that I think it's a bad record. I still think it's good. I still think there's a lot to enjoy about a record like Damn. Just to say that Kendrick Lamar, to me, just is never at his best when he's influenced by the landscape. I'm grateful and thankful for the fusion of hip-hop and electronic music, but I think a lot of what made me love a record like To Pimp a Butterfly from a Kendrick was just how much I could feel the record. And that isn't to take away any of the technology that was used or needed to make To Pimp a Butterfly what it was. It's just to say that I think I'm a bigger fan of art in general when it takes from the most natural setting. And instrumentally, I mean taking the recording straight from the person playing it and then putting it on the song. I think in a lot of ways, your message, your emotions, and everything that you feel can be conveyed with those live instruments as a backdrop, which is why I'm a bigger fan of folk music as opposed to country, because it's generally country in its most primitive form. And don't get me wrong, that fusion for those two genres would have completely made an act like JPEG Mafia, which is one of my favorite acts of 2019, impossible. So I'm grateful for the change, and I encourage further change, further away from the music that we've been given the past 5 years or so that's reminiscent of each other, that takes so much from one another. I feel the foundation of an album like Damn is what was its biggest downfall. Again, not saying that it's not a great record still, but just why it'll never be a Kendrick Lamar classic. That backdrop goes a long way, and I just hope on this new record, even if it is rock inspired, that we get something a bit more emotional and that we can, progress even further. I want Kendrick Lamar to be in the conversation of artists that is innovative. I want him to be influential in the future. I don't think he is. Despite how huge he is, despite how big of an artist he is, despite how lyrically dense he can be, I don't think he's influenced anyone when it comes to their rap style, when it comes to the instrumentals they use. I think a person like a Kendrick Lamar could fare better going into more uncharted territories. I feel the same way about a J. Cole. His vocal tone is set much lower than a Kendrick Lamar, and his delivery is generally a bit more soulful. Generally, the subject matter in which he discusses things are a little bit more heartfelt, so I feel soul samples is exactly where J. Cole needs to be. He needs to go in a more primitive form of hip-hop. He needs to go into a more primitive form of jazz. I think that world isn't nearly as explored with J. Cole as much as it needs to be for him to break out of this boring production shell that he's in right now. Looking at a Kendrick Lamar, I don't think a Kendrick Lamar can do what all these other kids are doing right now and do it well enough for me to enjoy it long term. So if he's making a rock inspired album, I welcome that. That sounds like great news to me. Anything to veer off of this path of constant plastic that I feel a lot of hip hop has become recently. It's a lack of rawness and this constant need for synthetic material. And if rock needs to be his backdrop for me to feel him more emotionally, I 100% agree. Do I care about his subject matter? No. A lot's happened recently. I'm sure he'll figure something out to talk about. But music is one of the most important parts and aspects of an album, of just everything in general. So if he has that down, I don't think I'll have a problem getting into whatever he's going to talk about. I don't want much from a Kendrick Lamar record other than that. Break away from synthetic, plastic material, hop into a new wave or a new area that isn't too explored. And if done well, he may end up being one of the most influential acts of the coming decade. So hopefully that's what he's doing. Hopefully that's what happens with this new record. And that's what we're going to get for 2020. I'm expecting a new Kendrick Lamar record this year. Hopefully he does well. Hopefully we get a single soon, some type of song letting us know that he's dropping something. And I'll be looking forward to it. You let me know what you want from a Kendrick Lamar album, but that right there is the foundation of the record for me. That's all I would want. You know, we shouldn't demonize rock and rap fusions just because they have the potential to turn out like a revival. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.